So then they discover his body, right? And they know that Jacob is no longer with us. So then they go back and they have all of Stephanie Pisty's social media posts. And they're pretty good idea that she is the suspect. And they go back to Tammy Morris's house. And that is when they discover the truth and the fullness of what actually happened. So, Stephanie told her boyfriend. And so they went and talked to her, and she came clean, basically. She told the police that she told her boyfriend, William Chase, that Jacob had tried to SA her, and at first she believed that all that they were going to do was lure Jacob to their apartment, which that's what they did. They lured Jacob Hendershot by Stephanie calling him and being like, hey, come and hang out with me. I'm babysitting over at Tammy Morris's house, which you need to know that Tammy Morris had 3 children under the age of 5 in the apartment at the moment that they unalived, and I brutally unalived Jacob Hendershot. So, like I said, Stephanie at first said she thought all that they were going to do was lure Jacob to the apartment so that they could beat him up and teach him a lesson about trying to assault women, which the allegation was false. Jacob had not tried to do anything to her, but she made this up because she wanted to. So she made up this awful lie, and she told it to Tammy Morris and Joel Millsap, for whom she babysitted those 3 children. And she also told her boyfriend, William Chase, and she told, and their friend James Gay, and supposedly now they call them the Vampire Cult. And the 5 of them lured Jacob Hendershot to the apartment, where they pulled him inside, and the 3 guys, James, William, and Joel, who was the oldest at the time, all proceeded to begin beating the crap out of Jacob Hendershot, like right when they pulled him in the door, right in the middle of the foyer, middle of the hallway. And there are 3 children under the age of 5, and they just did it in front of them. And basically, Stephanie and Tammy there were egging it on and everything. And then there were other items that they used to start beating him. And Joel grabbed a blade and started to him in the chest area and things. And this resulted in a entire bathing of the space in his bodily fluids, his life fluids. And he perished there on the floor in the middle of this. And then they proceeded to remove all of his clothing and everything. And Stephanie and Tammy began to clean up the evidence by getting bleach, and these children had watched this occur, and they began to tamper with the crime scene and clean it up and try to get rid of any evidence. And then they took Jacob and they stuffed his lifeless body into the culvert kind of tube that they did, and that happened on July 5th, 2011, and they taunted the family of Jacob, his mother there at the apartment complex, who was their neighbor, for over a week, for nearly 10 days, for 9 whole days, actually, because he went missing on July 5th when they did that to him, and his body was found on July 14th. And that is the story of the Parker, Florida vampire cult. When Stephanie Pisty was interviewed further about this, there's even an interview on YouTube, you can go and find this. She cited herself as knowing that she was a vampire werewolf hybrid since childhood. She said that they did not consume any of Jacob's lifeblood fluids whenever the incident that took him from the world, that led to his perishing, occurred, but that she and William had engaged in bloodletting and sanguinarian life of their own accord for the duration of their relationship. And that is a horrible tragedy that should have never happened, but it is another instance of true crime, vampirism in history. And to that, may Jacob's spirit rest in peace. Until next time, that's the story of the Parker, Florida vampire cult, y'all.